You know, it was a rough weekend. It really was. Now here we are, at the tail end of a very long journey, playing a couple Rangers that I do love and enjoy. Now it's time to do some review. You know? It's time to realize our mistakes and come back from them. We can do that. We cook next weekend. That's for certain. We will be cooking. Oh, hey! How's it go? How's it going today? Here we are. It's time for story time. Because my weekend was very long. It was very long. It was very arduous. And frankly, I may have pushed my own self a little too far in terms of just existing as a human, to be honest. Bring the fire back. The fire died. Didn't see anything. What is happening? It's all dying. Alright, okay, it's back. The fire is back. That is all that matters in our life. So we're staying nice and warm. It's cold outside. It is currently it's currently 50 outside in Fahrenheit, which is, I don't know what that is in Celsius. I apologize for not knowing what that is in Celsius. You know what? Let's just look it up. Let's just look it up, because we're here to have just like hang out, talk about our ProQuest weekend, and do some review. Because I think overall, I'm not happy with the weekend and the results, because I think most of it comes down to how I played. There's a lot of decision points where I made a choice and I made a decision and I was like, why did I do that? Why did I make that decision? And definitely the first day on Saturday was because I was very tired. And then I think that tiredness and fatigue led into my second day of me then swapping off of Azalea, because Saturday I played Azalea, because I was like, I think Azalea is good. I think it's solid into the field. You know, Aurora's winning the most. Enigma also doing very solid. I personally feel very confident in the Azalea mirror, which was the third most popular deck the first Pro Tour weekend. And then also for context, it is 10 degrees Celsius here. Before I get too far from that point. 50 Fahrenheit. It was like several degrees colder when I first woke up. The basement I'm in is freezing. And I need this nice warm fire. I'm getting off topic. But yeah, I played Azalea. I thought she was a good pick for the weekend. And then tiredness and fatigue from the day, I think, brought me into a very poor train of thought, is what I'll say, in logicking my way into playing Riptide on Sunday. But you know what? You live and learn. Sometimes you cook, and sometimes the cooking is burnt. But that's okay. So I hope everyone else had a good weekend. Had a good ProQuest weekend, because mine was super hectic. So for starters, let's bring up the decks. Because first deck I played was Azalea, and this is Saturday. Saturday was a very interesting day. It was my work week is Tuesday through Saturday. That's my work week. Let's add some backstory here. I work Tuesday through Saturday, and I work the AM shift, which is why I'm awake right now. It's why I'm here right now, because Mondays I don't actually work. Monday is my Sunday. Monday is my free day. And so, you know what? Let's go back to full screen. And so, you know what happens when you're very tired, when you need to go play a ProQuest? You don't need to. You want to. You want to go travel for ProQuest. And you live where I live, in the middle of Iowa. Where pretty much every single ProQuest, RTN, Road to National, and calling, battle hardened. The closest ones are always like 4-hour drive, 2-hour drive at best. Minimum 2 hours in one direction, and then 4+ hours everywhere else. Like, you could literally draw a circle. If you remove the 2-hour drive one, you could draw a circle around where I live to every ProQuest and RTN, and you would reasonably be like, yeah, it's like a 4-hour drive, 4 or 5-hour drive every direction in one way. So I worked in the morning, and I sleep during the day usually. So I drove 5 hours right after I got done with work, arrived at the ProQuest, and I was already very tired. And I was like, this is either going to be the most brilliant autopilot day of my life, or I'm going to get cooked. And the very first round, as I come to the hero, very first round I played Aurora. Now, there are some deck choices that I made here for the matchup. I put in some hamstring shots because, you know, that's what we're here for. Overall, I'd say this most Azalea lists right now, they're pretty standard. There's like a couple little tweaks you can do here and there, depending on like the metagame you expect or the metagame you want to play into. And by golly gee, did I misplay the heck out of that first round. First round against Aurora was probably one of the worst games where I was just like, I was blocking too much. I was losing life when I probably should have been blocking. That, and pretty much every time I tried to get tempo back, I knew it was a potential tech card Auroras would be running, but then I got blocked by 10 foot tall and bulletproof. That's the card. And I was like, well, this sucks. And then even when they're on that 2 intellect turn, I was like, I can't. I'm too far behind in life. You know, it didn't feel great. It did not feel great. So yeah, first round was really bad. Go over the deck list. Go over the deck list we played. Because I'm just going to be yapping for a while. And we're here to hang out. We're here to have a good time. We've got the nice cozy fire behind us. We're hanging out. Alright, so Azalea. Overall, I was okay with the weekend. It was a 3-2 weekend. I'll put that in the notes in case people join late. We were 3-2. We bubbled out. I think we were like, I forget where we were. I think we were like 10th or 11th, like somewhere in that range. Maybe closer to 12th. But, you know, it is what it is. It happens, right? We had bad breakers, which losing the first round, you know, especially at like pretty much any event, if you lose the first round, the rest of the event is going to be like really hard, really stressful, because your tiebreakers are just like, you're automatically like the worst tiebreaker in the room. So I was like, okay, the only chance we have now is maybe if I lose the very last round. Turns out I didn't lose the very last round. I lost the 4th round, was my second loss. But it is what it is. It happens. It happens. And it's the life that we live. So going over the deck list, we've got the usual standard equipment. Cross wrap, bracers, crow's nest, death dealer, tunic, snappies. The basics. Other equipment that we have, this is just how I organize my stuff, but I'll go over all the equipment. Balance is pretty much just a brute only thing. Extra 2 block, extra card draw in that kind of matchup. Since you don't really, you probably aren't going to have an arsenal most of the time anyways, because of like send packing, CNCs for 7, like that kind of thing. So you don't really get cross wrap value very much. So you just want to run balance whenever they have the blood rush turn, and then your tempo back turn is good. Half glove, the anti-warmongers card. It's just very good. And then Spellfray 2 for the Kano matchup. In terms of the actual deck, all 9 laces. All 9 laces are basically like 0 for 5s at minimum. Like 0 for 5s, 0 for 4s. So, obviously all the laces are great. Especially Lace with Frailty. Lace with Frailty is probably my favorite lace because it's just so annoying into very specific decks. And it usually always gets at least 1 or 2 points of value. Blood Rot, sometimes they can pay for the Blood Rot. Lace with Inertia is definitely the worst lace, or like second worst lace, because unless you tie it with like a red in the ledger, it's not that great. Excited for your Idaho PQ story. Dog, you know, I'm going to say this because I like you, Justin. And you let me stream here. It's not Idaho. You are closer to Idaho than I am. But no. You've made me lose my train of thought. Oh yeah, rest of the arrows, 3 endless arrows, standard, infecting shot, very standard. I ran 1 blue Bolton shot, because I have this battering bolt in the sideboard. Otherwise it would probably just be like a 3rd red drill shot, just for the value. Because I'd rather have the red cost than the blue. You can't verify. I can't verify that. Are you sure you want to? Hold on. Are you sure you want to test that theory, Justin? Are you certain? Because we could prove it. I could probably prove it. Like right now. And I would do that. You sure you know what you're asking for? One at me, bro. Can't even type. All right. So, hold on. No. You asked for this. You asked for this. So, from... I don't know if I want to show this. Screw it. We'll show it. The fire's dead again. Not the fire. The fire keeps dying whenever I alt tab. All right. So, from the area that I believe is, Los Angeles, California. It's the general area you live in, right? It's SoCal. It is 13 hours. Also, why? I'm very sad. Alright. I just want the fire to stay, and the fire doesn't want to stay. Makes me upset. From the general area I live. Holy crap. Sometimes... Where's my tab? Alright, so this is how far it is from me. It's 21 hours from my general area to Boise. That is probably like 4 hours at the closest to get to Idaho. And you're 13... You're a full 8 hours closer to the, one city that exists in Idaho. Maybe that's why you guys don't remember I'm from Iowa, is because the only place that actually is close to you that sounds the same is Idaho. Just a thought. Anyways, back on track. Back to the story time. Back to some Azalea deck tech stuff. Now that we've rightfully put it in the ground that they are closer to Idaho than I am. And I have been joined by a cat. Hello, my friend. She might jump on my lap, so we might get cat cam here in a sec. Yeah, so 1 blue Bolton shot for the battering bolt. I like having a 1 of Searing shot instead of 3 drill shots. Mostly because if you don't have Tunic, this is the most efficient 0 card Codex target. Otherwise, obviously, you want like Red in the Ledger, Remorseless, Infecting Shot if you have Tunic up or a resource floating. Oh, hello. She has arrived. Hello, sweetie. Come on up. Hello. Oh my goodness, you love me. I get it. Also, reality is cutting my head in half. All right, there you go. Hello. Hello, sweetie. So she will now be joining us for our next thing. But yeah, I like having one of Steering Shot. I think it's just very good. Release Attention is obviously great into pretty much any deck you expect D-Reacts in. Amplifying Arrows, Take Aims. You know, I remember back at Battle Hardened LA last year, I threw together my Azalea deck at like literally the last bit of that tournament. And I was playing Take Aim, and I was like, this card's broken. Was that Battle Hardened last year? Maybe it was the year before. I don't know. Events are starting to blur together at this point. Kitty, come on. Up here. Come on. There you go. Oh, she bumped the mic. Okay. And I was like, man, this card feels incredible. So I was very happy when this card started becoming like a mainstay in the more redline versions of the deck where you're like, oh, just play 4 pumps and shoot the arrow. Seems good. Codex of Bloodrot. It's basically the same kind of similar idea as this. It's just you get a Ponder, you give them a Bloodrot, you force them to put a card from their hand into arsenal, which can be a bad thing if it's like a D-React and then you end up dominating an arrow, but it's like, what can you do? Codex of Bloodrot good, Ponder's good. I do view Codex of Bloodrot and Take Aim in a very similar light, but I do think Codex of Bloodrot is like slightly better sometimes. Take Aim is more consistent at fixing your turns. Like, you can do some kind of degenerate Blind Azalea stuff if you have, like, the arrow in hand. You have Take Aim, and then you like, have Death Dealer for the turn. Or if you, like, Death Dealer and Bolt and Shot, you give it Go Again. And then you just reload any... If they block the Bolt and Shot, because, like, oh, you don't have Death Dealer, and you don't have Bullseye Bracer. You're like, okay, now I play Take Aim, actually reload the arrow, shoot the arrow, and they're like, that sucks. And then Rain Razors, Knock, Codex, Frailty, best card in the format. Probably inarguably, best card in the format. Not much less needs to be said about it. One Battering Bolt. If I'm being completely honest, the main reason I played Riptide Day 2 was because, one, I wanted to block a lot more. Like, I think I was just in a very weird, like, I'm blocking way too much mentality. And so I just wanted to play a deck that wanted to actually block. And I wanted to run 3 Battering Bolts. I like this card a lot. I do have a story about how when I played Riptide into Aurora, they had 4 instants in their hand when I shot this Battering Bolt. But I'll get there eventually. Hamstring Shot. When I do sideboard cards for Azalea, there are some cards that I see people choose, and I'm like, I get the idea. I'll try it. Hamstring Shot and Rabble are those kinds of cards. Like, I get it. I understand the logic. I personally do not like them. Like, Rabble just feels like it doesn't really fit into you wanting to play, like, 4 pumps and then shoot an arrow. Like, you need to cut, like, Release Attentions or one of your Laces for the Rabbles because you're only putting Rabbles in for the Warmongers matchups. So you're also running Half Glove, and then you'd probably rather be shooting an arrow, like a Red in the Ledger or Remorseless into those matchups anyways. So I personally would probably swap this for E-Strike in the future, me personally. Because I think E-Strike's a fantastic card. It's an amazing Snapdragon's target as well. If you have, like, a couple pumps and, like, an arrow and an E-Strike, and you're like, I'm just going to, like, E-Strike for 7, draw a card, bottom a pump, snap it, and then you load you like Death Dealer in your arrow and you shoot it. I'm personally a bigger fan of E-Strike than Rabble, but that being said, Rabble's still a good card. I get why people like it. It's just not a me thing. Hamstring Shot. It's like, this is supposed to be good into aggro decks, but I feel like every time I have ever been affected by a Hamstring Shot, seen a Hamstring Shot, shot fired, or played a hamstring shot myself, I felt extremely whelmed to underwhelmed. I'm like, maybe it's annoying. Maybe they just block with it. And because it's a 1 cost, it ends up being like, do you want to cut your 1 for 7 arrow? Do you want to cut probably your best arrows in the matchup for it? Because you don't really want to cut, like, endless arrows. You don't really want to cut drill shots. And your pitch curve ends up being kind of meh. Kind of not great if you end up cutting them. So, I don't know. Hamstring shot seems a little too cheeky, too cute for me. Yeah, that's kind of the sideboard. Going forward in the future, like I said, I think I would swap this for E-Strike. Plus, if you like already half gloved, or you had to half glove like their first or second Warmongers, and then they play the third, Rabble versus like E-Strike, in my opinion, is a very different kind of card where like you can go E-Strike, bottom your pump into like your arrow that you arsenaled, and then you still have an arsenal. Or while Rabble is like, okay, it's 4 go again, you still have like a pump and the arrow in your arsenal, and you're not going to be able to cycle as many cards to try and find what you're looking for necessarily. So yeah, I personally am a bigger fan of E-Strike. And then hamstring shots, I might keep them in, but I would probably swap this for Widowmaker. I'm a big fan of Widowmaker. If you're not familiar with Widowmaker, it's this card. Defense reactions cannot be played to it, period. It's still a 1 cost. It's a 1 for 4 arrow, which is 1 below rate, but the effect you get of no DRX can be played with it is fantastic. And if it's defended by fewer than 2 cards, it has +3. So it can be a little clunky, because if they have like a battle-worn piece of equipment, or a 0 block like Snapdragon, where they can like block with it and then block with a card, you lose the +3 pump. But this card usually only comes in for like Enigma, because they don't actually have that much armor. Like their armor is all Blade Break, and if they're running Footsteps, it's not actually that good. Or they're running like no Rune Gloves as their arm slot, because there's really like they could run like Ironhide, I guess technically, but it seems kind of weird. That deck feels like it wants slots to be doing other things than Ironhide, so, and that arm slot specifically, so it is excellent into Enigma. It's basically 3 extra. Where is it? Kind of like 3 extra Remorseless, except they can't play D-Rex from hand either. And that deck runs a lot of D-Reacts, and since we're not running Dreadbore, we're running Death Dealer into Enigma. Having Widowmaker and having this +3, if you can get it dominated, and if they either have to waste their Blade Break armor, or maybe it's not a very optimal time for them to be breaking their armor. So yeah, in the future, definitely swap hamstring shots for Widowmakers and Rabbles for E-Strikes. And other than that, I was very happy with the deck, honestly. Like, again, I went 3-2. I was not very disappointed with the deck. I think most of it was just me misplaying and me having a couple really clunky hands. But overall, I think the deck was, like, solid. I think it was solid. Like, I really, like, it's just swapping some tech cards. The main 60 cards felt fantastic. And yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of it for the Azalea deck tech. We'll do some matchup review. I'm not really sure how I want to do this, or how I want to structure this. Because I just have a bunch of notes in Notepad, and I don't want to blind, like, I'm already blinding my, like, you can see I'm, like, blinding myself with how bright Notepad is. So I'll just have the deck list up, and I'll talk about it, talk about the matchups. Also, the cat did leave, so we're a little sad. No emotional support cat here. Yeah, so I'll just be here yapping about my matchups from here on out. So first matchup, I kind of already talked about it. I played against Aurora round 1. I lost a die roll. He made me go first, and then I I forget what the first turn in the game was. A lot of this game was just like my memory of it is a blur, except from I remember I felt like I was playing really bad. I felt like I was drawing fine and I was blocking too much. Where like my big takeaways from this game was like, am I blocking too much? Maybe I'm not blocking that much. So it was just like it was really hard for me to gauge how I was really misplaying this matchup. Um, I just felt like I was misplaying it. Right. It's obviously a hard matchup. Any aggro matchup into Azalea can be very difficult. Like if you get the stun lock going with Azalea, you can pretty much kind of win the game. Which obviously this opponent was the 10-foot tall and bulletproof Aurora guy, so he ended up just like having the 10-foot talls when I was like trying to dominate like a 10 damage arrow. I was like, here's 10-foot tall, and I'm like, that sucks. So yeah, and I had like one or two hands where one hand was like I drew too many arrows and he didn't really attack me because he was on like a 2 intellect turn. And then I had a hand that I got lucky to even shoot an arrow. Like I blocked with 2 cards because I had what was it? I just drew 4 pumps straight up. One of them was take aim, which again, another reason why I love take aim is take aim single-handedly saved that entire cycle from being a complete disaster. So I think what I ended up doing was like blocking with 2 of the pumps, and then I played take aim, I cross wrapped, I saw another pump, bottomed that pump, and then blind Azalea into a drill shot. I was like, okay, we got to shoot an arrow for, it was either 7 or 10, I forget. So we got to do something rather than do nothing because of take aim. So definitely like the big unsung hero of the deck is take aim, in my opinion. So yeah, it was just a rough game. It was close. It was kind of close in the end. I managed to claw it back. I did get like 1 or 2 red in the ledgers that felt good, but overall, it just I think I had myself to blame more for that game than anything else. So it is what it is. Second round, I lost the die roll again, but my opponent decided to go first this game. I do think I want to go second into the Aurora matchup. I think it's extremely tempo driven, and if you can go second and start really disrupting their hand and dealing damage, I think you're in a great spot. If you're forced to go first and you don't deal like 10 damage to them dominated, then it kind of feels bad. You kind of are very sad about it. Because sometimes they'll just like, if you shoot an arrow at them, they'll just like block 2 cards, you won't deal damage, and then they somersault it back to their hand, and it's like, oh great, now they have 2 snatches with an embodiment, or like a snatch with an embodiment of lightning because they played somersault. Oh great. So yeah, so I think going second as Azalea into the Aurora matchup is one of the big takeaways where I feel a lot better going second. But I'm not sad to go first. Obviously, like we're playing Azalea. Going first is it's not terrible. Like it's not great, but it's also not terrible, right? For that specific matchup. So yeah, second round, I think my opponent just greeted their hands too much, is what it kind of came down to. Like they just weren't blocking as much as they probably should have been, and ended up just like eating a lot of damage they didn't really need to be taking. Big shout outs to, what was it? I forget that game. It really was just like they were just eating too much damage. They like they didn't obviously have the 10-foot talls for that game. I think I know that card was like, it's kind of being like, oh, this is a good Azalea tech card, but then it's like, is it actually? I think it is. Having now played against it and been like, this card is really annoying. So yeah, like Red in the Ledger won me that second game. Like stun locking them with Red in the Ledger so you can destroy. It's just OP. And they didn't really have like CNCs or actual disruptions, so we kind of just won the game. I I definitely do not think I played well that game either. I think it was more down to my opponent not preserving life. So I'm a little hesitant to want to play Azalea next week because it feels a little too fair, which is a weird thing to say. It feels like you're just playing, playing a bunch of pumps, shooting an arrow for 14 with a bunch of on hits. It feels a little too fair in the attack for 4 meta, which is what I feel like we're in right now, where it's like shoot for 4 or 0 for 4, 1 for 4, 0 for 4, 1 for 4, Because big note from this metagame was there were several 5s, and that deck felt... I did play one and lost one. But that game was kind of just... I got kind of stomped from how it went. The first turn went. I'll explain in a sec. I'll explain when I get there, but that game did not feel good. So, yeah, second round, beat Aurora. I'm feeling better. Physically, I feel awful. But mentally, I'm like, okay, maybe I can just autopilot the deck well enough to get there. So, going to the third round, I'm playing against Florian. And the problem with Florian is you don't really know what build they're on. So, what I did was just like, okay, I'm just going to have to assume that they're aggro. Because I don't know if they're going to be, like, way more mid-rangey or want to block me a lot more. So I'm just going to assume that it's some, like, Bramble Spark, Swarming Gloom Veil, Channel Mount Heroic build. And just hope that I'm actually, like, set up for the matchup. Turned out, they were an aggro Florian, which was fantastic news for me. So I won that die roll. I went first, and I had a dominated drill shot turn 0. Definitely the best decision I made of the day was I went off of Arsenal to give the drill shot a piercing counter. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I didn't want to risk, or I needed the extra +1 because I was only going to be shooting this drill shot for like 7. So I wanted the extra +1 so it wasn't like block 3. Yeah, it wasn't like a 3 block from hand with like the grasp and it was Face Purgatory, I think was their headpiece. So I wanted to guarantee, hey, even if you block with all your armor, you're cooked. So he ended up just like blocking 3, taking 4, which dealing free damage is great. I put a counter, -1 counter on the bark skin, the chest piece that makes the embodiments. Because honestly, that chest piece, if you have 4 more earth cards, can get kind of gross when you go block with armor or block with it plus like 1 embodiment or like 1 card. It's like 5 block, I think, is what the non-attacks become if Florian's active. So a lot of points, a lot of anti-dominate points that I got there. And then from there, it just kind of was like, it was a tempo game. He drew like 1 Plow Under and 1 Felling of the Crown that he played. The rest he had to either block with or he just didn't see them. Like I think he only saw 1 Plow Under, or maybe the second one he threw like a CNC at me, and I was just like, okay, take 6. Didn't really want that arsenal anyways, or need that arsenal. So yeah, that game felt great. Felt very confident going into the next round. And I was rehydrated after that round. I was rehydrated, feeling much better. Round 4, however, oh my god, I went off the rails. So it was Kodachi 5. I knew it was Kodachi 5 because I had seen it. I saw his equipment loadout from the previous round. He won the die roll. He goes first. It's fair. He's playing 5. And I'm like, this isn't great. I draw my hand. It's 2/2 blocks and 2/3 blocks. And I'm like, this isn't great. So he goes like Kodachi into 4. I'm like, all right, block 4. Or I block with a 2 and a 3 block. Because one of my cards is actually Codex. And I'm like, if I got to keep this codex here, this is gonna be nice because I think one of my arrows was remorseless. So I was gonna have like a codex turn going second, do some razzle dazzle, draw a card with an arrow. I could even have like a Snapdragon's play if I drew a yellow. It was great. Or if I draw a blue, I was gonna feel great. It's gonna feel great about it. But his turn ended up being me eating 7 damage full blocking with the codex and the other 3 block. And I was like, I start the game at 33 life. He starts at 40. And now I get my turn. And like, honestly, just from there, it was like, I'm just so far behind from turn 0 that we're just cooked. It was pretty cooked. It is unfortunate. But it is what it is. Yeah, so we go into last round. Last round I play against a Riptide. And I'm like, oh, please don't be a mid-range Riptide. I just cut my Widowmakers before the event. Don't do it. I don't have the Widowmakers, and I'm like, please. He ended up being aggro. And our game was kind of just like a non-game, like, because we were both dead for top 8. So it ended up being kind of just a hangout. Play, have a good time, shoot some arrows at each other kind of game. And there was a turn, he shot the I remember this. He shot the intoxicating shot, which gives you the quicken and the courage. And I was like, I'm not blocking it, but could I use them? I ended up making a disciplined decision to be like, you know what? I can't risk him having like Arsenal to collapsing trap or just drawing the collapsing trap here. I can't do it. So I made the disciplined play and shot him with a remorseless for like 11 or something, or 12 or something like that, right? And it ended up he drew the collapsing trap off the top, and I was like, phew, we would have been farmed. We would have really lost our life if that happened. Yeah, it was funny because the matchup really was like the fact that I knew what his deck did helped a lot, or like what his deck was trying to do, or like what the traps I should be aware of. I kept in mind the whole time. Like, I honestly, the game I played against the Riptide was my best game of the weekend, because it was just like, I'm just like hanging out, I'm having a good time, I'm playing around the traps well. It felt great. I had a turn where I was like, all right, if he has the buzzsaw for this Bolton shot, I have snappies, and then I can shoot the second arrow and kind of punish him for trying to greet his hand, which is what ended up happening. I like played take aim into Bolton shot. Snappies did because I was like, I really need to shoot this other arrow because I don't want to like handlock myself, and I made sure to not over pump the Bolton shot because I did death dealer it, and then I bullseye bracered in the second arrow. And then that was for like 9 or something really annoying. So I was like, okay, if he does have buzzsaw, we'll play around it. We don't over pump the Bolton shot, and then we can cook him. So it felt good. It felt good. I felt like that was my best game of the weekend. Overall, in review, I think I talked myself out of Azalea too quickly. I think I tried to get too cute. I should have just ran Azalea back the next day. Just made like a couple sideboard tweaks, like I said, where I cut hamstring shots for some Widowmakers in case there were enigmas. Cut the Rabbles for E-strikes. What else? There was another thing I was going to think about doing. Oh, yeah, maybe cutting like the battering bolt and the Bolton shot for what was I going to cut them for? I forget what I was going to cut them for, like tar pit trap or something, I think. Just to have some extra value into Aurora and Phi. Aurora and Phi was the point. So I could turn off, because it was Kodachi, Mask of Momentum, Phi. So I wanted to be able to turn the traps or the mask off. And we get into our second hero of the weekend. Because I just really wanted to play this card. And I wanted to block. I wanted to play battering bolts into all the auroras. I wanted to play tar pit traps and a bunch of block fours into the Phis and into the auroras, and just be like, I'm just gonna mid-range you. I'll just mid-range you out. It didn't really work out. I think most of my problems, because I took most of my inspiration for this deck list from Anthony Pham, my teammate. I even asked him, hey, this is what I think my meta's going to be. What do you think about me doing this deck? And he was like, yeah, it looks good. I'd probably run like Sigils of Solace instead of, in case there's you have Rune Blades around. And I didn't have Sigils of Solace on me, so I was like, sucks to be me, I guess. But yeah, so I just put in a bunch of block fours. And, excuse me. I'm dying. Kept the Remembrance in because I figured there would be an Enigma running around again. And I think there was actually a Guardian at the tournament, and kind of need Remembrance Quiver to even have a chance in that matchup. So yeah. Sunday, I felt better because I did actually sleep. I had been up on Saturday for like 30 hours. I didn't feel great. And then I slept, got a nice sleep for like 7-8 hours. Went into Sunday being like, I feel confident about this deck list. And we end up going 2-3. Like, I think I probably, at worst, should have been 3-2. At best, I could have been 4-1, based on the games I played. So the matchup spread. Let's go over the deck list first before I get to the matchups. Obviously, framework is Anthony's list because Anthony's the Riptide guy. And if there's one guy I trust, it's Anthony. My biggest issues that I was having is I think this blue count is a little too low. But also, just like I think I shot this once or 0 times, which is like, it's so bad. Like, I think I just needed to like not be running sinks and put in like 3 blue infecting shots. The ripple aways were good, but I just wanted more blues. Like, I think I wanted the blue arrows to just help add consistency to being able to shoot these battering bulls, shoot these murky waters, or like be able to greet a hand with like lining up murky water. But like, frankly, I think half of the issue I had with this deck was too many reds and bad draw sequence is, I think, what ended up happening to me. Because there were several turns where I like drew too many traps. They didn't do much, and I didn't get the trap triggers. Or I draw like the murky water, but it's with like murky water. What was the hand I drew? It was like murky water, infecting shot, murky water, and some other red arrow. I think it was remorseless. And I was like, what do I do with this hand? How do I make this hand work? And the answer was, I just block with it, because that's all we did with that hand. Compared to Anthony's list, I kept the ripple aways, because I think I needed some value into Rune Blades. I just needed something for the Viscerai matchup, because I knew without Sigils it was probably going to be rough. Turns out, I did play Viscerai. It went really badly. That was the one game over the weekend where I felt like, second game, because the 5 game on Saturday was like, it felt kind of unplayable. The Viscerai game I played was literally unplayable, where I was just like, okay, he had a very early Mordrtide turn. I'm already at like 20 life, and he's at 38. I don't feel great about this. And then it eventually was just, it was like a ticking time bomb to when he lined up the second Mordrtide turn, and he comboed it with a Revel, because I just wasn't pressuring him. Like, I just wasn't able to. I had a turn where I like completely brain farted a Codex turn. I like should have thrown a CNC at him, and instead I just shot like an arrow at him because I miscounted pitch, and I was like, "What am I doing?" Ugh. So, yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time getting slaughtered by Viscerai because I love Viscerai. My brain is not working. Yeah, 2-3 Riptide. Biggest takeaway from this was just lack of reps, honestly. My first round I played Leviah. It was fine. It was like it was really funny. I drew 3 traps in my opening hand with Warmongers. I was like, I didn't really want to shoot him anyways, so I'll like Dreadbore trap, or like pitch to Dreadbore, not load anything. And I played Warmongers. And it was the funniest thing, because he chose Peace, and I was like, you choose Peace. As Leviah, you choose Peace. Okay, I choose War, good talk. And then he ended up like playing Call to the Grave and then passing back, and I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense. He just wanted to like maximize loading up his graveyard. From there, it ended up being a pretty straight. Honestly, it was a pretty straightforward mid-range game. Like I played disciplined, I played smart, had good blocks, and played well. I think that was a good Riptide game. Second game, second round of Riptide, I played against Aurora. That felt awful. Or I felt like, what am I doing? Like, I think I sideboarded badly. I think I lost too many random points here and there. The game was close, but it very much felt like I failed the deck more so than the deck failed me. Like, obviously, there was another hand where I had, like, Murky Water and couldn't play it, and I was like... Or I had Murky Water, I could have played it, but there were only 2 traps in my graveyard and not a 3rd trap in my hand that I was going to play. I was like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Guess I'll block with it and shoot the other arrow. Third round, I played the other end. I played the Riptide side into Azalea, which was really funny. That I played, it was like, okay, I'm on the other end, but my deck is not the aggro deck, it's the mid-range deck. Maybe this is good for me. And within the first, like, 20 cards of the Azalea deck, they found all 3 Remorseless, and they dominated all 3 of them, and I was like, this is pain and suffering. I can't play my tripwire traps from my arsenal. I have to trench them away and play this weird mid-range game. And I'm just in pain and suffering. But we got through all 3 of them. Ripple Away popped, had probably the most impactful moment in this game. Because he shot a Remorseless for 8. It was dominated. It was like his last Remorseless. And he had a Premeditate and... He had a Codex. I knew he had a Codex in hand. Why did I know he had a Codex in hand? I think I battering bolted him, is what I did. Yeah, so I knew his exact hand, because I shot a battering bolt at him. Oh, no, he rabbled it. That's what it was. He started the turn with a rabble, and then drew into it. So I knew his other card was Codex. That's what the turn was. So he, like, rabbled. I just took 3. He drew the Codex when he played, because he... Oh, yeah, he didn't dominate this Remorseless. It was vanilla Remorseless, but I had like Ripple Away and a couple blocking cards, and I wanted to play my own Codex. So I like blocked 6. I took 2, but I was like, I'm gonna discard this Ripple Away, so you don't get your Ponder. Oh yeah, and I had Inertia Trap. This was the combo. I had Inertia Trap with Ripple Away. So I'm like, okay, here's an Inertia token. And then I'm going to discard this Ripple Away so you don't get a Ponder from your Premeditate, is what he played as his pump on the Remorseless. And his last card in the hand is Codex. And he's like, this kind of sucks, because now he can't, like, he couldn't, like, Snapdragon the Codex and then play the Codex and still have a Ponder, right? Because he would just lose the Ponder. And I still had my arsenal because I was just sitting on a codex that I was gonna play. So it was like, so he's like, this sucks. I guess we just eat this turn. And that was this super critical turn where he's like, he's off arsenal. I threw, I blocked 6 and I pitched a blue. I codexed him, threw a CNC at him. And I was like, all right, we're cooking. We've just disrupted the heck out of him. Pondered my own card back. And from there, I just kind of felt like I had tempo until the very last turn. I went to 1 off of him codexing another Remorseless. Is like a 4th Remorseless. Or 5th? 4th. It was a 4th. Codex Remorseless back. And then I presented like 9 damage arrow back off of going to 1 from playing Codex and then my own Remorseless. So, and then I broke my half glove for it too. So after that turn, he went to 1, or he was on 1, and so I just had tempo for. It was literally once I draw a trap that actually kills you, you're dead. Warmonger was a spectacular card. I had 1 turn where I time walked him completely. And then yeah. That was the 3rd round. That was my favorite Riptide game. Was that game? Because everything felt good. I felt like I played extremely well. I had the niche interactions. And then round 4 happens. Similar to the day before. Where I'm 2-1 going into round 4. I feel good. I got paired up into the 3-0 Viscerai, which is fine. It was like, pair-ups happen. It's unfortunate. And then I just get absolutely rolled. I lost by 20 or 30 life. It was really bad. I don't really want to cover this matchup more than saying I wish I had sigils in my deck, and all 3 of my Warmongers were in the bottom 20 cards in my deck. So it was just a bad beats game, honestly, is what the round 4 Viscerai game was. Just bad beats. It is what it is. Can't do much more about it. Ripple Away saved me 4 life again. That's really the only highlight I had from that game. He played around Collapsing Trap super well. He played around all future Ripple Aways very well because he was just manually making the grasp of the Arknight Rune Chant so that his go again attacks would have go again. He just played super well. He played super well on top of just I did not have this the sigils for the matchup, and frankly I was just getting kind of rolled. His first Mordred Tide turn was with a Revel, I think. His second Mordred Tide turn he just set up with a Revel. So I was really that game was just a matter of when I would lose rather than if I could win was what that game was. And then yeah, so 2-2. This was a smaller event than day 1. So if I won, there was maybe a chance I get on Outbreakers. There was I think it was either 9th or 8th. But the last round I play Aurora. I lose. I think this was the game where I truly felt like the lack of blues hurt the deck. This was the game where I was oh man, I'm drawing I have kind of control of the game, and then I draw quad red hand back to back, and I can't play Murky Water or CNC or Battering Bolt, and I just have to block with them, and then the game's just kind of not great from there. This was the fact that I lost this game was very disappointing because I had a turn where I just threw a Battering Bolt at him for 6. Just vanilla 6. Nothing else. It was just a 6 damage Battering Bolt. And he had 4 instants in his hand. And I was oh, Sure, he played them all. He like played 2 of them, made an embodiment, and then took the 6, right? And his turn was just passed back. And the hand I drew after that was like, how is this the world I live in where my hand is like a red infecting shot is my best play after the battering bolt turn? I was so sad. It was the greatest battering bolt of the entire weekend. He had 4 instants in hand, and he was like, well, this sucks. But we're playing mid-range. We want to block with like 2-3 cards every turn, and sadly, don't have a lot of ways to pressure the other guy. So losing this game felt rough. Once again, I think having like 3 sigils would have probably saved the match. Like if I had three sigils instead of like the sinks, or like some split between tripwires and sinks, I think I would have been fine. But yeah, no, the lack of sigils that I brought with me hurt a lot. Hurt a lot. So yeah, that was the weekend. It was a fun weekend. I had a good time, despite I'm disappointed with how I played and with the results, obviously, but there's a lot to be learned. Mostly, I just need to play cleaner. Like, honestly, I just need to, like, usually what ends up happening is I get ahead of myself too much, and I think I try to get too cheeky sometimes. I remember some plays where I was just trying to be too cute with, like, the Riptide reloads, or, like, trying to make sure I could fire like my 0-4 arrow by sequencing my traps correctly, and I ended up like losing points that way instead of like just getting the points, arseling the arrow, passing back. So overall, I just need to play cleaner. I think is like the big takeaway I have is just play cleaner, play smarter, play slower. Play slower. Not slow play, obviously, because we don't want to slow play, but just play slower. Yeah. I didn't really have a plan outside of doing a bunch of yapping. You know what we can do? We could jam some games. I think I'm gonna edit this list. We'll make a copy. And make it what I would probably update it to be if I were to run this back next weekend. Let's see, ProQuest weekend. Redo. Yeah, so like let's take these out. We'll take these out. And then Widowmaker. Love this card. And then Strike. Yeah, this is what I do for my sideboard. I would consider swapping the E-Strikes out for like another tech arrow, but I just like E-Strike. E-Strike's a good card. Still works with snappies. It's a good card. Alright, yeah. You know what? We'll jam some games. Why not? I've only been streaming for like an hour. Let's do some more Ranger Relay stuff. And then obviously, changes I would do to this list. I would either cut sinks or cut some sinks and a couple tripwire traps. Or like some number of like 3 of these for 3 sigil solaces. Or maybe just cut and then maybe cut like down to like 1 tripwire trap and some take covers into 3 blue infecting shots. Because I think this deck needs 15 blues. I think it's where you want to be at. And the fact that I was nowhere near 15, or like I was at 12 blues instead of 15, just like really, really hurt the entire weekend. Where's the count your blessings? Look. It's already bad enough. And the deck is bad. Okay. We're back to story time. There was a fatigue new playing 9 Counter Blessings. And when I was sitting next to him, and I think I like beat my Florian. And so I was sitting there watching this Count Your Blessings new playing Azalea. And I'm feeling for this Azalea because he is doing his best to not get fatigued. Like, he is really working at it. And it's like, he like presented lethal. Counter Blessings gain 9. And he's like, oh, okay. Next turn. Presents lethal. He's like pitch stacked a couple turns like back to back. And I'm like, okay, maybe he can win this. Counter Blessings gained like 9. And it's like, he's just like, he's so frustrated because it's just, he just can't do anything about it. He's just getting Count Your Blessings done. And it's like, it was a tragedy. It was a tragedy for me to watch that Azalea player just like struggle like that. Yeah, it was sad. It was sad to watch. Did I have this tab set up? I don't even remember if I had this tab set up. I wasn't planning on playing Talishar today. As you can see, I don't even have the fireplace. I've lost the fireplace, guys. I wasn't planning on playing Talishar. But you know what? We'll jam some games. I'm having a good time hanging out. Might as well play some of the games. And it's a Katsu immediately. Okay. Definitely put the E-strikes in, and we probably cut... which pumps do we cut? Probably these 3. Because Lethal Frailties are good, Blood Rots are good. Yeah, we'll do that. And then we want Half Glove. Snappies, yep, all looks good. I even have the fireplace still ticking in the background. All right, hold on. We're gonna... It's a Mask of Momentum gamer, and he pitched a red. I think eating 1 Kadachi here is fine. Interesting. I have a feeling he's gonna like Warmongers me here. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. We'll just redden the ledger. What we got on top? Yeah, that's fine. I'm not gonna Rain Razors this. Even if, because he's probably gonna just do one thing anyway, so there's no point in, Oh my god, would you look at this? This hand is great. I choose War. See, this, if these were Rabbles, this hand would be awful if these were Rabbles. But now, we have E-strikes. We have double E-strike. And we get to keep our card in hand. Oh, what was the other card he lost? It was a Surging? Nice. Buff power. Like, this is just so much damage. Like, he Warmongers us, and we still got to have, like, really nice turn. CNC with double reds. Yikes. Interesting. Because we could block 6, but then we're kind of banking on whatever's on the top of our deck. This is fine. We can eat it. You want to discard? We'll just tunic this bolt and shot in. It's an interesting draw. Yeah, we'll just premeditate. And then we'll codex the infecting shot in. Now, can I? Alright. The stream might look... That's fine. Reinforce the line. Okay, sure. Play this. Put this in. Then we opt. We'll bottom that. I don't really want that. And we just shoot this. Okay. Not sure if he wants to fatigue us yet. We've seen like a Be Like Water. He's got 2 blocks, so I don't even know if he could fatigue us per se, as long as we're smart about it. Oh, hello. All right, Talishar. He's having a Talishar moment. That is a good card. The question is, do we want to... What would you want to do here? I think I kind of want to just run the ledger here. With this release attention. No, we'll shoot this. And then we just plan to have a really good bolt and shot turn on the back end. Obviously, if he has like reinforce the line. If he has like a blocking card and he goes blocking card, breaking scales, reinforce the line, then it's fine, because then he only has 3 cards for his turn. But if he has CNC, it's gonna be a little sad, but it's okay. Yeah, it's a little sad. So what do we have in here? I mean, I think there's no reason to not block 6 here. Let's see what we got on top. Premeditate is neat. We have Endless Arrow in here. So we either go Endless Arrow for 10, or we go... I think we're going to play around Flick Flack here. So we're going to top this. And then we're going to Azalea. And we're just going to shoot this Endless Arrow out of him. I just want to play around Flick Flack here, because if I go 6 into Endless Arrow, I think it's too efficient for him to block, but like a 1-card 10 is pretty annoying. Oh, he just scoops. He's having a rough one. He has even bigger than that. Ancestral Harmony is a good card. Yeah, and he is running Flick Flacks. Yeah, I just wanted to play around Flick Flack, because if we see Reinforce the line, it means he's probably also got the Flick Flacks in, so we just want to play around, you know, him like Flick Flacking the Bolt and Shot, and then yeah, him Flick Flacking the Bolt and Shot, and then just give me 1 card on the Endless Arrow. So don't want to let him block too efficiently. He has Warmongers in this hand, which is interesting that he scooped, but we could just shoot an arrow still, because we'd ponder these 2 cards and then Arsenal 1, draw these 3. Yeah, so good matchup. Good matchup. Oh, we can have a Azalea 1-0. I'm not sure how long I'll be streaming. I am a little drained from the weekend, but you know, and you know what? Let's see if I can bring it over. Let's see. I might break everything. Full disclosure. Might break everything. But I want... Whoops. the fireplace. I want the comfort of the fireplace to be with me here. Oh, I killed it. I made it disappear. It's okay. He's coming back. There we go. This is completely scuffed, but it's fine. I just want the friendly fireplace. We just want to be chilling. It's not quite holiday season, but you know what? It's cold. I'm cold. And I want to be nice and warm with my fireplace. Alright. We'll get another game in. Just some nice, relaxing Azalea gameplay. With our good friend, the fireplace. Ooh. This is a rough one. Yep, we'll go first. It should be a Warmonger's deck. I think we board up. Like this. They can have the battle-worn Black Tech Whisperers. I think I do want the Widowmakers anyways, just so you can't play D-Reacts. And then the rest of this is fine. Yep, I like the rest of this. Interesting. Okay. We're going to play this take aim. And we're going to opt. Not it. Going to opt again. Not it. And he does have double battle worn, so our Widowmaker is probably not going to be that good. So we can either shoot this for 10 here. Yeah, we'll shoot it for 10. Oh, which one's this? Oh, he even had a Warmongers in his opening hand. Okay. And a Sigil. I'm getting cooked. Count your blessing, Azalea. My God. If only. If only. That would be some truly degenerate stuff, let me tell you. Maybe he just doesn't have another dagger that's good for this matchup, but this one doesn't feel like a very good dagger in this matchup. Maybe it's because he is running these like fatigue cards. I mean, yeah, we're probably just shooting this Widowmaker here, so. Yep, lose a couple cards, it's fine. He's getting all the silver. Aye. And another Sigil. Yeah, this might be the worst version of Azuri that we're going to be playing into. I will not lie. Do we want to draw that? I don't think we do. This. We opt again. Please be an arrow. We just went through like 3 arrows, so yeah, it's probably not one. We'll bottom that one. This. Then we shoot. Nice little 13 damage arrow. Nice. Yep. See, that is the great benefit when you're running the great benefit of running Widowmaker is sometimes you just have a bunch of D-Reacts. So he could pump this 3 times, which means it gets +3. So, but he'd have to break all of his equipment. It's an interesting decision point here. I think I'm fine with this. I don't really think we need to overextend that much into this. We can just give a little block, because this is 3 times, and these are all 1, 2, 3. There is the alternative where we can let this hit, or we like do this, make him break all of his gear. Yeah, let's do this. I think this is better. I'm fine with like him, like him taking Nox is not that big a deal, but he'd have to like break all of his equipment, which, considering the fact we have all of our stuff, is good. He chooses not to break it, which is even better. So I will take it. Endless arrow on top. We'll bottom it. I think we're just gonna end up knocking here. Knock, seek, and destroy. Yeah. Let's go get red in the ledger. Azalea. Nope. Seek and destroy. Release. There's maybe an argument to not play the release there, so we can keep it for a future turn, but we just want this to be as big as possible. See, so this is the hand one. Sure. You got it. You can have it. I think he'll take a pump here. Yeah. He discarded a second one and annihilate. Okay. Codex is tempting, but I don't really want that. I kind of want to just rip it blind here. Yeah, let's just go blind. Ooh, okay. Let's go with... No. And then we'll just shoot it. Sounds okay. Another CNC. Man, if he has a pummel here, I'm going to be a little sad. That being said... It's kind of just where we're at. It's going to block a little bit. A blue Botan shot? No. What's the next card? E-Strike. That can stay. Sure. We'll just pass. Stop seeing me. See, this one's interesting because I don't know that I really care. How many E-Strikes do I have left? I still have all three of my E-Strikes. I mean, this is fine. We're probably just going to shoot this infecting shot. Or whatever arrows on top. No. Let's just shoot this. Dang, that's a lot of blocking cards. Sigil? Pass. Okay. Now how do I sequence this is the real question. See what's on top. I'll take that. We'll play the rain. Load the Bolton. And then I think we just max this out. Yep, that's fine. Okay. What's on top? Something we can dominate, surely. I'll take that. Let's play this. Let's play this. Or do we actually want to play that? Yeah, we do. If I had Tunic, I would not play this. I think what we're going to end up doing is snapping this and then death dealing right in. We're playing the Rain Razors. I think it's what we're just going to do. Now, if he gave me like all of his equipment, I'd be like, okay, you got it, but bounce it back to hand. We really want to draw a pump here. That's not great, but that's okay. He might just end up blocking this anyways. Yep, that's fine. We have a good arsenal. If he has, like, warmongers. Leave no witnesses. It's a little annoying. That being said, though, we have, like, Tunic Drill Shot. We do need to, like, really start dominating. He's played all 3 of his sigils, so his life gain is pretty limited now. What's his arsenal? That's what we need to figure out. I don't think it's a D-React. It could be a D-React, I guess. Let me just figure out what this is. It could be like another Bonds of Agony. Or maybe it's like a Shred. I don't think we're supposed to block this. It's gonna get so much silver off of this. Yeah. Unfortunate. We still have... Okay, we're gonna have to Codex back one of our Endless Arrows. Let's do this. And it is a D-React in his arsenal? Okay. Yeah, it kind of felt like it was a D-React, and he was just saving it. Loading this Bolton Shot. Seek and Destroy. This is actually a decent turn. I don't think I pitch stacked this, but it would be cool if I had. Yep, that's all completely fine and dandy. It's probably just the Infecting Shot. How many codexes have I played? I think this is my second one, so I still have one left in the deck, I'm pretty sure. We'll have to remember that we need to use that third one for, Oh, I still have 2 left in the deck. Okay, this is my first codex. that can stay there. I'll have to remember that one of our codexes... Oh, he has Oasis? Oh, that's kind of cringe. Oy vey. Alright. What we got on top? We really need to just be dominating our arrows from here on out. We'll load this. Otherwise, we're just going to get fatigued. Still has 2 sinks and a fate. Probably has another codex turn here, which is going to be sad. Yeah, 3 sigils and like a full Oasis value with Tunic is very painful. We just put out on Flick Knives. I mean, I can't really be blocking this. Bonds of Agony. Uh-huh. It's unfortunate. It's gonna eat all my premeditates. He might even take my codex, yeah. That's very sad. Those were probably like the rest of my pumps too. Like I would bet I probably only have arrows left. Yeah, let's just blind. No. Ooh, can I even risk doing this? And like risk him banishing the codex? I think I still have 1. Yeah, okay, we still have 1. What are we grabbing? I think we grabbed the Widowmaker. Did I? Oh, I did bottom that card. I should just grab Remorseless. Or left the Remorseless on top, and then I just blind flip. Oh no, I already Azalea. I blind Azalea the Amp Arrow. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day, by the way. That is the day. It is a good day. What do you grab? Do you know what this is? Warmongers. What number of Warmongers is this? Is this 3? I think this is 3. Yeah, this is 3. Okay. So we are safe to arsenal pretty much everything. I have to be very specific. We might just be like locked out of the game, sadly. Because all he has to do is just sit on something for the endless arrow, and then we die. Or still that. Yeah, I think this is... I don't even necessarily think we misplayed super hard. I think it's just a really bad matchup for us. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It's just bad. Ah. And it's a codex. Yikes. Alright, we're gonna have to, like, trade some life here. Because I can't play this codex yet. I don't think I have a pump left. Like, if I had one pump, then maybe we could get there with this endless arrow loop, but I don't think we can get anywhere close because he still has a bunch of D-reacts left. Like, he still has a Sync, he still has a Fate. If he's running one Oasis, maybe there's a second one I missed. Yeah, I think it's just kind of... We're just kind of cooked. Yeah, there's 0 pumps left in our deck. Very tragic, very tragic. All right, well, we'll just scoop it up to save the time. It's just a bad matchup. Tis just a bad matchup. Not much to be done about that one. Why is my... It keeps dying, and it keeps making me upset. Miss Storytime, did we sweep all the PQs in Kentucky? No, it was in St. Louis, and no, we did not. We did get a little cooked. It happens. What do we bring in for this? Bring the E-Strikes in. Probably Release the Tension comes out. And bring in the Battering Bolt. Call that good. I guess he does have a bunch of Blade Break stuff, so maybe Widowmaker is good. Food for thought for the future. Tooth and Claw. Would I rather lose the life? Yeah, let's lose the life. Rather keep the Codex. Could be our yellow for the turn. Well, this is a hand of all time. What's on top? Hey, we'll take that. We'll take the Dominated Arrow. Nope. Good turn, good turn. I have so many ponders. We are completely pondering into... We have enough ponders for the next game. Ooh, which one are we? Arsenal. We'll just Arsenal the Bolton Shot. Sure. That's unfortunate. I mean, we're going to choose war. Let's just half-glove this. We'll have to be careful with all of our future arsenals, but I think it's reasonable to half-glove here. Do we reload? Would I rather draw a new card that isn't this knock? Yeah, we'll keep the knock. Normally I would be terrified that he's blocking with strides, but now I'm not as much. Wow, we actually drew one of the red ledgers. That's funny. Oh, he forgot. I think he forgot he was, yeah. I think he forgot he was under peace. Or, he was under war. Fair enough. This attacks. The next Crouching Tiger gets +1. I feel like I've never seen this card before. Oh, it's from the like UPF release, isn't it? So we're playing knock. I'm just debating if I actually want to keep an arsenal for our following turn or not. I think I do, because we're gonna have to like play this knock, reload probably this red in the ledgers so we can keep the red in the ledgers up. And we can have the infecting shot turn. We'll see if it's on top first. That can stay there, but we're gonna shuffle it away. Grab red in the ledger, load this, Azalea. Oh, actually, I probably am supposed to keep this red in the ledger here. So, sorry. It doesn't matter. We're shuffling anyways. Get this, load this, Azalea. Just keep the other red in the ledger, because at the very least we can have like a Snapdragon's turn with it. He could have like a D-react, but then we're getting all of his armor here. Yeah, it's fine. Now he doesn't have any armor for like this red in the ledger. Battering bolts here. He's offering us the opportunity to kill his daggers. I accept. If he CNCs us, this is going to be really sad. But I think killing his daggers is very important. Like, he loses a lot of damage value with not having daggers. Leave that there. And he hasn't transcended yet, so his if he blocks with his helmet, it's not great. By the way, Brace, I don't know if you're still here, but I had to tell Justin that you guys are actually closer to Idaho than I am. So, just saying. Alright, you got inertia. Probably means... This is a funky one. Wish I had tunic. Yep. I was gonna say, I think it means he has double transcend, which is fine. We'll load this just because we want to hide it. I mean, he's probably gonna just play for the Blood Rot anyways. But then he's less incentivized to arsenal card. Okay. This is doable. Pitch, Passover. Okay. I think I'm gonna snappies these into E-Strike. Yeah, let's snappy these into E-Strike. This play feels correct. Plus, he's under Remorseless, so his turn may not be that great. I hope this is an arrow. It's not. How many E-Strikes do I have? I still have 2 E-Strikes left. Gosh. Okay, we drew one. Okay. Okay, that's good. This one's fine. Tiger for 1 is fine. Then it's 5. Then we take 3. Go to 3. And then we have... Yeah, I think this is correct. What's on top? 'Tis an arrow. Yeah, let's just dominate it. Yep. All right. Hey, man, just want to say it was a pleasure having you out in St. Louis. Hope to see more age people coming out every once in a while. Yeah, it was great being down there. Appreciate it, Emery. Yeah, I was like... The Saturday I was down there, I was very out of it. I'm also in public. Sometimes my social battery is not there. But, like, on Saturday, I was just, like, I had driven straight to St. Louis from work. So it was, like, 5 hours. And so by the time I got there, I was, like, I had, like, 3 hours of sleep in the last, like, 20 hours. So I was, like, or last 24 hours. So it was like, I was not feeling the greatest. Yeah, I still had a good time being down there, and yeah, I will definitely come by again in the future. Hopefully, there's like a battle hardened down there, so yeah, we can get all the AGE hats down there. It would be great. Be a great time. Actually, not be not be all on my lonesome traveling to St. Louis. I think I'll play one more game, and then ooh, oh. Do we think this guy plays Warmongers? No, surely not. Surely not. He does play cards that Battering Bolt likes to eat. I mean, sure, we'll just add the Battering Bolt. Such a fridge, anyways. This is all temper stuff, right? Temper. Oh, that's Blade Break. Oh, these are Blade Break. Okay. You know, you hate to see it. That's unfortunate. That's okay. What? Hello? Game? Can you not troll me like this? Maybe he just gives us armor? Also just gonna like knock, reload the Endless. See what's there. It's not it. See, the correct choice is Red in the Ledger. But I'm tempted to do Remorseless in case he's got one of those D-React in there. So much armor. What's this one? So prevent damage. Draw a card if he charges. Oh, okay. So he can cycle. Sure. You know, in other scenarios, I would like to see this Battering Bolt. But we have so many we have so many arrows. You know, by golly, I will give you 2 cards since you haven't charged yet. And this one's gonna have go again anyways. Oh, that's annoying. Did he not? I guess he just didn't want this. Sure, I guess. Pump on top, please. It is a pump. I think we're gonna be in a decent spot once we get our next Red in the Ledger. How much does this one block for? It's 5 if you charge. But you would need another card for it. So it's 1, 2, 4, like 9 max block? I guess he could have Soul Shield too. Now these hands into Bolton feel a little underwhelming, I will admit. Buff power. Okay. So he's going to do this. He's going to Bolton it. That's fine. Okay. We are chilling. Hopefully this forces the rest of his armor, and then we can find our... a codex would be pretty cool. Soul Shield? I mean, honestly, I'll take... I'll take a Soul Shield for drill shot. Oh. Is he gonna see? Is he just gonna throw CNC at me? Be kind of rude. Whenever an attack hits, make it courage. I see no reason to block. I can stay there. Okay, so I want to eat the prevention here. Yeah, let's opt here. Yep, that can stay there. Then we're gonna snap bracers this in. They call me Lexi with how many times I'm shooting this damn arrow. Alright, pretty good turn, pretty good turn. What we got? Pre-med? Sure. I think... Or am I supposed to, like, codex here? What could he have arsenaled? Could be like a Cataclysm, maybe an E-Strike, maybe CNC. We'll just get the pump. Let's not worry about the, Oh. Make a Blood Rot. Probably this one. Oh, he just scooped. Okay. What's in here? Oh, it's a beacon. Sure. We would have seen a knock on top. We bought him. Yeah, alright. Even with the giant fridge, granted, I feel like that turn, he probably should have just, like, blocked with, like, arms and a card, and then had, like, a decent turn, but... What do I know? What do I know? Yo, another dub for Azalea. Well, not 4. I wish it was 4. I wish my record was 4-1. Like on this weekend. Alright. I'm actually feeling okay. I'm feeling okay. It's 2. Let's see who joins us. Enigma. Alright. We should probably go first. We'll run half glove. These cards all come in. I think I was cutting red in the ledgers. Oh, these probably should come in as well. But then something else has to come out. Frailties, laces. Release attention needs to stay in. Oh, I think I was cutting like drill shot as well. Yep, sure, we'll try it. Still kind of fluctuating on what the sideboard should be. Oh, he's running refractor. Interesting. Okay. We're going to do this. Since we have release attention, it's pretty safe to do this. We'll load in this one. Please be an arrow. Make me happy. That's not an arrow. Let's bottom. And rip it. Let's see. Those gloves don't block. Yeah. I mean, we already have the Ponder, and we gave him a Blood Rot and his card in his arsenal, which could likely be a D-React, so let's just see how badly we can maybe punish him here. Double Blood Rot. Alright, sick. Not that concerned with what he can do now. Like, if he plays, yeah, it was a cheat. Okay. That's fine. He's gonna use the shoes for Blood Rot. No. Where's my battering bolt to end his entire turn? Where's my one popper? We just end his turn. Come on. Unlucky. Oh my god, where's my popper? Where's my popper, bro? It'd be so easy. Come on. And then this is for 6? Yowza. Let's just get a block in. At least you won't have the shield, but deck makes shields very easily. He's probably running at least blues and reds. Pitched another Maragai. Okay, so we pitched 2 Maragais that turn. I like that. I like that a lot. Yep, that can stay there. We're gonna Azalea that. Play the card. I hope we draw another pump. Nice. Excuse me, sir. Let me... Excuse me, sir. I know you have chi in your hand, but I just play all these pumps anyways. Nice, big, 17 damage arrow. That's what you like to see. With a Blood Rot. With a Blood Rot. It's even more annoying. Maybe there's an argument that we're supposed to like Lace Lace, Endless Arrow, Rain Razors. Maybe there's an argument to be had there. Nice arsenal. So he's gonna lose this, but he's gonna keep a shield. What can we do here? What can we do? I kind of feel like I'm supposed to block with this E-Strike here, but I don't want to. Alright, we'll block with the E-Strike. What we got on top? Ooh, it's the card. Yeah. Let's see. I can play this. Play this. Doesn't really matter what he loads. Flip it. No. Take aim. Now, he could give me his helmet here, but I actually like that. Because it's very low odds he actually has a Maragai. I guess he stirred the pot. Did he stir the pot? No, he stirred the pot the same turn he pitched the 2 Maragai. So he can't actually... He could just, like, shuffle and maybe find it. But, he's just going to eat a bunch. Okay. Ponda? Sure. What have you got cooking over there? Maybe it is literally just like he had 40 reacts and he's like, well, yeah. I feel like if you pair Widowmaker in this matchup with like a Seek and Destroy or a Lace, it can be really frustrating for the opponent. Okay. Okay. Modes. Buff, go again. Okay. I think we're happy to block 3 of this. Makes sense why he wanted a Chi. Draw a card, go again. Okay. Kind of still just chilling. I really do want to see a pump on top for me to Azalea into here. Have I drawn a Codex? I don't think I've drawn a Frailty yet. A Codex of Frailty. Which would be nice to draw here. Yeah, it is what it is. Then he's going to lose his boots to the ward. Or I guess he could have drawn a blue here, and then he could keep both. Which would be good. Nope, he just lost his shoes. Okay. What is on top? That is not a pump. Okay. So we have a choice to make here. We either Widowmaker him again, or or we just like blind flip. I guess we could blind flip if it's an arrow. We have snappies. Yeah, maybe that is the play. If it's Codex, it's going to be kind of sad, though. E-Strike is doable. Not great, but doable. I wonder if I should have drawn a card. I mean, 5 go again is really annoying. Plays one from hand. Okay. So I'm leaning that he doesn't have a D-React in his arsenal, but maybe he does. And this is, like, very punishing. But I'm leaning that he doesn't. He has, like, vengeance or something. It could be like an unmovable too, I guess. If he doesn't play it here, it probably is just a D-React. This is one chonky shield. So if it's an Etchings, which I feel like he would have played last turn. This goes to 11. We go to 4. Doesn't feel great. I don't think it's an Etchings. So I feel like he would have played it the turn prior. Load up the Endless Arrow. Okay, we have a prenet. What's in here? I don't even know. I haven't even drawn a Murkmire. It's kind of crazy. I guess this will be our best target, huh? Okay. Oh, I guess. You know what? This might actually be really bad because this is bouncing back. Because we're going to have to discard this. Surely it's a 0-cost arrow on top, right? Let's put this back into the deck. You know what? Never punished. Never literally never punished. Never. It was never in doubt. When him taking the damage, because it's like, oh, he doesn't have another 0-cost arrow in his graveyard, is his best play. It's really funny. What is in your arsenal? Is it like a chi? I wonder if it's a chi. We have Tunic coming up. Let's just do this one. Plasm. I would actually love for him to cycle one of these cards. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's pretty meh. Pretty mid. Probably takes like the Murkmire, right? Yes. Take 4, go to 3. And then we just want to draw. Now the Endless Arrow is actually in here. What was it? Okay, sure. We want to pump. It's technically a pump. I mean, we'll take it. What does he have for attacks? Some good ones. This might just be big enough, though. I think we force him to give us his... I guess he's blocking with 2 cards anyways, right? So we just want the biggest arrow. If he takes 1 damage, then this is the best one. And he probably just grabs... I don't know, like a Clasm or something. Grabs Spears. Okay. Maybe Widowmaker is correct. Because he's only played 2 Fates. So Widowmaker might be correct because he might just have a bunch of D-Reacts in his hand. Yeah, I think Widowmaker is correct. Is this his 3rd Warmongers? What kind of D-Rex you got, bud? Waning Vengeance. Okay. And then an actual D-React? Man, if he has an actual D-React, I will be sad. I'm so sad. Well, wait, he's still dead. Because he still takes 1. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It all pans out in the end. It all pans out in the end. Nice. All right. Yeah, I like this matchup. I like going a little heavier on arrows because sometimes just blocking with like 2 arrows is fine in this matchup, and then you just, as long as you dominate something, you're usually okay. Play around like Release Attention, Remorseless, and the Widowmakers, and you're fine. It is weird. Yeah, cutting the drill shots and Red the Ledgers is... Like, Red the Ledger into this style of deck, where he's running, like, a bunch of Spears and... the Prowlers is maybe correct, but, I don't know. Not really a big fan of Red the Ledger matchup. So yeah. Hold on. I think that was 4-1. I think. I just killed Talishar. Oh, we can double. Let's see. So I made a copy paste. 4-1. Okay, this says 4, but I definitely lost one because I got smoked by that Azuri. So yeah, 4-1. That's good enough to render ProQuest. So that's improvement. Sadly, it is Talishar. But that being said, I'm gonna end the stream for today. Didn't want to do a super long stream like I usually, or like the 4-hour stream like I usually do, because weekend really did burn me out from driving around so much. Also, you can see my eyeballs. I'm going into the abyss. The fire. Okay. It was the green screen's my green screen's being a little funky with the lighting right now. It's like I think it was like my eyeballs were getting keyed out. But yeah, anyways, thanks everybody to stop by. I had fun when I went down to St. Louis, even though I did not do very well. ProQuest were fun. Playing both the Rangers over the weekend was fun. This card game's I just love playing Flesh and Blood. It's such a good card game. Shout outs to the boys. Shout outs to the AGE boys. Always supportive. And I don't believe anyone is scheduled to stream this week, but we should have people streaming this week. I'm sure Jake will stream. Anthony and Andrew, I believe, should be streaming at some point. Around their usual times that they have been streaming at. So hopefully that happens. And yeah, there it is. The lighting is just like I don't think it was doing it before, but it's really like my eyeball chroma keying my eyeball and the flame is behind me. All right, but again, thanks everybody. Stop by. I had fun. And we gotta play some Talishar games. I'll see you guys next time I stream. Hopefully it'll be next week, because then I'll have another ProQuest that I'll be talking about. So I'll see you guys next Monday. Bye-bye.